Welcome in our Christians for Israel studio. Today we have a special guest, and our guest today is Mr. Lucas-Elias Hezel. He is the chairman of Christians for Israel in Germany. Welcome, Luca, in our studio. Will you introduce yourself to our audience, and can you tell us how did you personally got involved in Israel?
Thank you, Cornelis, for having me, and it's a privilege also to work together so close with you, and I appreciate what you are doing here in the Netherlands. We are your neighbors, we are in Germany, and I personally got involved with the issue many years ago when my mother forced me in a way to participate at an Israel trip. So she convinced me, as mothers sometimes do, to participate at the trip to Israel. And for 10 days, I went to the country the first time, 2008, and it totally blew my mind what I experienced there. So I had no idea what I'm expecting or what I'm facing there. But when I was there, meeting the people, meeting the atmosphere, meeting history, meeting also our heritage, and coming closer to the Word of God, coming closer to what I believe, coming closer to the God of Israel, which I found out is also my God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There were so many revelations. So when I came home, I was like really into the idea that I also want to bring other young people to Israel with trips like the one that I just experienced. So I told the leaders that I want to be involved in this, and these were my first steps into the whole also Christians for Israel movement. And I started to work for the youth branch. It was called Israel Connect in those days. And this was the main job we had to do 2 or 3 times a year, bring young people to Israel, show them the country, show them the people, but most of it show them the God of Israel and show them God's plans and purposes for the Jewish people and the church. And from the first moment on, this really fell very deep into my heart. And also the witness of many participants of the trips is that if they experience for 10 days being in Israel, it's like very deep inside their heart, something is changing. And when they come back to Germany, they are in a dilemma because they experienced something. They cannot just go on and say, okay, it was another vacation, another trip. Now I'm going to the next country. And the second dilemma is that they experience that others that have never been to Israel, they don't understand, and they don't understand what they experienced and saw in Israel. So over the years, we brought some hundreds of young people to Israel. And as we are doing it for more than 10 years now, we of course have a lot of young people now who are involved in our work in different branches, different levels, different jobs and involvements. And it's a joy to see many young people who are involved, because in Germany we had older Christians praying for many years that young people are involved in supporting Israel and standing by Israel's side. So what we experience right now in Germany is that we have all generations in Christians for Israel Germany working hand in hand and working together to bless the Jewish people. And this to do as a Christian in Germany after our history as Christians, but also of course in Germany, it's an indescribable, unbelievable privilege.
It's amazing that you can talk to people about Israel from a biblical perspective or a political perspective, but when people visit Israel, the country, the places where everything happened, what's written in the Bible, then it touches people in their heart in a special way that you cannot reach by arguing, but you have to visit Israel. So that's what happened with you.
Yes, it happened with me. And so this key moment was my main motivation, that I said I want to give this also to others. They have to experience it. And this is why we are still trying to help young people to come to Israel. We try to sponsor them in a way to pay the costs, which are, of course, after pandemic and everything, really increasing. So to go for 10 days to Israel, it's not very cheap, but it's totally worth it. And this is what we experience, and it's a joy to see young people that are devoted in their faith, now also to be passionate about their love for the Jewish people.
Yeah. And in your personal life, you were active in a church, and you were part-time working for Christians for Israel because of involving young people to go to Israel. And then, in a moment, you became the full-time chairman of Christians for Israel branch in Germany.
Yes, we had. I'm a social worker, so this is my profession, and I worked as a social worker with in the child and youth help for many years, and I enjoyed a lot. Maybe this also helped me now to work and be with people. And I worked for the church in Germany, child and youth help, for many years. And then for Israel Connect, for the young adults branch of Christians for Israel, with the other part-time job. And as I became closer into the whole Christians for Israel teams and network and committees, one day Harald Eckert, my predecessor, asked me to become his assistant. And I said yes, and so I became his assistant. And by being his assistant, I really dived into all the issues and topics and everything. And so over the years, he also and the board asked me to be involved in the executive committee and also in the board, because they also wanted to have a young perspective in the board. And in those days, I was still young. So I was involved in the German board, and I really liked it, but I still had the two different jobs, and I felt that it was also stretching me from year to year to have more responsibility in both of the jobs, and it's increasing. So I knew that one day I have to make a decision. And in those days, I always told myself that I will make a decision in the age of 30, and I was 28. And then we had a very intense time in Germany. We really had a crisis and big questions how to go on into future. And at the end of this process, which was very intense, the board asked me to take over the role as a chairman in Germany. And to be honest, in the beginning, I thought I will never do this. And I was also I had a job offer in the church, so I thought maybe it's good. We have the crisis here, so it would be the more comfortable way, to be honest, to go to the wonderful job offer in the church. So my first answer was no, I don't think that I should do it. But then I took it into consideration and also into prayer with my wife. And after 2 weeks, it was totally the opposite. And after 2 weeks, I could not imagine doing anything else than working for Christians for Israel full time. And this was 2020, so 4 years ago. And I never regretted it for 1 day or for 1 minute. I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I love to go to office to work together with the team, because it gives you the very, very strong feeling also on the inside that what you are doing is relevant, and what you are doing has a meaning, and it really, really helps people. And you can see in your work that it helps people. And as I said in the beginning, it's a huge privilege to work in such a special area and atmosphere that then the issue of Israel and supporting Jewish people.
It is an encouragement for you that you first chose not to go for Christians for Israel. That gave the Lord an opportunity to change the way and to let you change your mind. And when you have challenges now, then you can fall back to the knowledge that the Lord showed you the way. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. And I will also never forget the feeling I had when I finally made this 100% sure decision that it's the right thing to do, because my wife and myself, we felt guided by the Lord in this decision. So whenever there are tough times or intense things that are happening, I still remember the feeling we had when we make the decision, we do it.
Yeah. And when I look to Christians for Israel Germany over the last years, I see a huge development in Christians for Israel Germany. What is all going on now? Can you tell us something? What are you doing as Christians for Israel in Germany?
When I look back to the last 4 years, sometimes I, in a way, feel responsible for all these crises that happened the last 3 or 4 years, because I just came, and then the pandemic started. And after this, we had a war in Ukraine. Yeah. And after this, now we have this horrible situation in Israel that started on the 7th of October. So in a way, I'm asking myself, why is it that since I am working for Christians for Israel, we have so many crises? But I learned something. I learned that also in tough and intense times like this, you can make your decision what you focus on. And all these times also have windows of opportunity. All these times have chances, and all these times have, in the end, some, so to say, good developments. And in the pandemic, all our events, all our trips, everything was shut down from one day to the other. But for us in Germany, it was a very, very helpful time, because we had chance to reorganize ourselves, and we worked a lot about structures and teams and who is working here and there, because now we have more than 25 people working for Christians for Israel in Germany. They are on the payroll. So it's a huge team, but we are not at the same place all the time. We are scattered all over the country, so we have to find our ways to work together efficiently. So the time of the pandemic, when we were not traveling so much, we could focus very much on how do we want to work together, and how can we do it in a healthy way, in a good way, in an effective way, and in a way where we can also be fruitful and motivate each other and also see each other. And after the pandemic, we had a chance to travel again more and more. But then I already felt we have a good structure, we have a stable foundation in Germany, and this was very helpful in a way. So we focused, of course, you can focus on the bad things and bad developments, but we try to focus on the windows of opportunity.
And now there is a lot going on. The newspaper, the online courses, the lectures in churches.
We had many room also for brainstorming and new developments. And we have the head of our communications also changed. We have Dana Novak now, who is responsible for the newspaper, but not only for the newspaper, she's responsible for the whole communications. And it's just a joy to see how blessed she is to be capable of arranging this whole communication orchestra. She's doing an amazing job together with Paula Krohmann for the social media.
On what social media are you active? What social media can people follow you as Christians as well?
We are very active on Facebook and on Instagram, and also we use YouTube, and we use Spotify for a podcast. And some of our young workers, they also want to use TikTok, but we are still in the discussion, yes or no. But yes, in a way, the social media is the way how to reach the young people. It's as it is, and you have to. I always say that we have to come into the pockets of the young people, because in the pockets there is the mobile phone, and on the mobile phone there's the social media. So we have to find ways to pack the message into new media, new formats, how we can reach the young people with small clips, small videos, podcasts, and whatever. So we developed a lot of new products, old message, but new design, so to say. We also opened last year a theological academy under the leadership of Tobias Krämer. And it's an online course where in 10 evenings you can get total overview over God's plan for Israel and the Jewish people. And in the beginning we thought, maybe 20, 25 people will participate. It was booming from the first session on. We had more than 100 participants on the first course. Now on the second course it's even more, and it's unbelievable because many people have a lot of questions, and they still stick to this very old question, why Israel? Why Israel was also the question many years ago where William Glashow wrote a book on, but this is still the question for the church, Cornelius. This is still the question, why Israel? What are we having to do with the Jewish people and the state of Israel today? Why is it relevant for us and our belief?
You use in Germany your German branch name. How can people find you on social media under which name?
So the international name is Christians for Israel, but in Germany our branch is called Christen an der Seite Israels, and if you translate it, it's like Christians standing by Israel's side. And this is also what we feel who we are from the Bible. We are standing by the side of the Jewish people. And this is how the people can find us, Christen an der Seite Israels. And also in the last years, I have to mention that we also opened up new arenas in also the political sphere. We have a person working in Berlin for us, Josias Terschüren. And he is very into working with politicians. He has meetings in the Deutsche Bundestag. He has meetings in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to speak with them about the German foreign politics and German politician views on Israel and the Middle East. We also focus more and more on coming in closer contact with the Jewish communities in Germany, because they already before the 7th of October, but after the 7th of October, they feel and they see that they don't have a lot of friends, and they feel unsafe and they feel in danger. So for us it's an obligation, it's a privilege to show them our support and our love also in Germany. And you see us, you know him, he's a very, very capable man of also sharing the message to non-believing people, to civil society, to also politicians, because I think it's also our job as Christians not only to speak in churches and with pastors, but also to non-believing people to fight anti-Semitism and to show solidarity with the state of Israel.
Wow, great. Then we had 7 October. It's about 6 months ago. How did this affect your work as Christians for Israel, and what changes did you experience after 7 October in your daily work?
As we know, the 7th of October turned everything upside down for Israel. It turned everything upside down for the Jewish community worldwide. And I also add that it turned everything upside down for the friends of Israel and the people who are standing by Israel's side or by the side of the Jewish people. So when in the past everything was in the past before the 7th of October, we had the issue of the Shoah all the time. When we were dealing with Israel, Jewish people was also one of the big issues. How can we be in a sensitive contact and sensitive also in speaking in awareness of what happened in the Shoah? And I think 7th of October in a way is similar, because you cannot make a trip to Israel now or in the next years without speaking about what happened on the 7th of October. So not only the trips to Israel, but everything we are doing is very closely connected to what happened on this day, because it was a horrific attack. And it showed Israel and the Jewish people worldwide that they are even not safe in the country they put so much trust and hope into, because all the Jews in the diaspora, they knew whenever anti-Semitism is on the rise in my country, I have the opportunity to go to Israel. So this attack was really, it really shook them to the ground, because they felt they still feel wounded on a very, very deep level. And so since the 7th of October, we feel that that it's right now a time also to stand by Israel's side even closer than before. And we also feel that they are more open for our friendship and support than before. So when there were maybe some issues before the 7th of October, what are your motivation? Why are you doing this? Now they are very happy that we are here. We really built trust in the last month also to the Jewish community in Germany. And just to give you one example, we have a very capable Israeli ambassador in Germany. His name is Ron Brosor. And in the past, he also was ambassador in the United Nations, and he's a very experienced diplomat. And he has some German roots. And he always knew that one day he wants to be the ambassador for the state of Israel in Germany. So he was in Germany for some months before and then the 7th of October happened. And from the first moment on, we were in very close contact with him. And he is an ambassador that is very open also to Christians in Germany. And this is very encouraging for us, because in the past it was not always like this. But he's very open. And right now, it's fact that they are calling us every week. Every week they are calling us, Christians in Germany, we need your help in this project. Maybe you can help also here. Maybe you can deal with the situation here. Because they see that in times of trouble, who are their real friends? And they see us as their real friends and brothers. And this really means something to us, that the Israeli ambassador and the embassy, they build trust and they reach out to us, because they see we are their real friends. But we are also capable and able to help them and to really make a difference. So it's a present, that it's a gift that they call us and we can help them. And just some weeks ago, you also participated in an event where we hosted, together with the 3 biggest Christian news agencies in Wetzlar, a city in the west of Germany. We hosted an event where we invited the ambassador to come to Wetzlar for 2 days, to have a public event, to have some background meetings with him and interviews. And it showed that he is really a friend of us, and we are friends with him. And in some weeks, we are invited in his personal residence in Berlin. And he said to us, you can bring 30, 40 pastors and influencers and decision makers of your supporters to come to Israel, to come to Berlin, and I would be very happy to host them and welcome them with open arms. And this is really something that's giving you goosebumps in a way, because you see if you as a German and as a Christian are invited by the highest Israeli diplomat and representative in Germany, after what happened in our country, what happened in Berlin, now he is inviting us to spend time together because he wants to welcome us. That's really something, and this is a huge testimony.
And that's from a historical perspective, a huge change.
It is.
When we look at the history over the centuries, that now Jews feel that Christians are their friends, whom they can trust. So it's very important and a wonderful opportunity for you.
And I think they know and they feel and they trust us that we don't have any hidden agenda. It's not that we help them because we have this and this and this condition or because we want to evangelize them or something like this. And we are standing very close in our international movement also, that our job is to stand by their side whatever comes and to say your God is our God, your people are my people, and we stand by your side whatever happens. And if danger is coming, we stand even closer with you.
Do you experience after 7 October as Christians for Israel in Germany an increasing demand from Christians, from churches, from pastors to explain biblical about Israel because they see what's happening?
Yes.
Do you experience that also in Germany?
Yes, we do. And it's also one of these windows of opportunity that I was speaking about, because many churches and pastors reach out to us, and they would have never done it before the 7th of October. But now they feel the issue of Israel is all over the media and also in the church. The people are speaking about Israel, and the people in the church, they ask the pastors, what is our position? What is our, give us some orientation also from the Bible. What about Israel? Why Israel? And then they reach out to us and they say, can you help us? Please help giving me orientation. For me, it's a very complex issue and I need some help and orientation. So many pastors, many churches reach out, and we try to go there to speak. We also set up huge online webinars where they can participate, and we record them so they can be up to date. Tomorrow we have a next webinar where we also speak about the Iranian attack on Israel on last weekend. So they really see we are into the real issues, and we help them to understand the bigger picture, and we help them to understand not only the bigger picture, but also what they can do now to support the Jewish people in Israel.
And that's very important. That's a very important job of you in Germany and for all of us in the world, because when we watch the media, we can judge Israel because of the war.
Yes.
But when we see the real facts in Israel, the real news behind the news, and we read the Bible, then we see a total different picture.
We do.
What's the situation, Luca, in Germany at the moment when it's up to the government and the media? What's their attitude towards Israel in Germany?
That's a very good question. And my first answer is that some weeks ago, Israel, in their media, in their newspapers, they called Germany their biggest friend and biggest ally right now. And this was also surprising for us, because we, sitting in Germany, seeing the government, seeing some developments, we are maybe often very also like criticizing and everything. We think, you should do better here and better here. But in Israel, they saw that what the politicians said, also in the first days after the attack, it was showing a very strong support. And also, if you compare it to other nations, we are very happy and thankful for what the Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, that Germany is standing by Israel's side. We were also happy that the foreign minister went to Israel very, very fast to show solidarity, to show support. Of course, we have some different opinions on what happened in the following weeks. Like, for example, we think that we should take a much better stand in the United Nations, for example, because we abstained in a very important resolution, and this was one opportunity to show our support, but we did not. But all in all, we see that Israel is very happy for the support of Germany. And I would say there were different periods, because in the beginning the media also was very, very strongly supporting Israel and their right to defend itself, and also what they are doing now in the south of Israel. They were supportive, but we also knew from the beginning then that as soon as pictures are coming from Gaza, pictures of wounded families and women and children, we knew that this solidarity will reduce, and Israel will be criticized again and everything. And for us, it's also not easy, because we also think that no one should die down there. Every person that loses its life, no matter on what side, is a person too much. But you really have to see the reality that Israel is into, and the government, and also the Israel Defense Forces. And we try to help the people in Germany to understand how Israel and why Israel is operating how they do. And but we see in the media and also in the political sphere more and more that the people are that they are coming with sentences like you have to see both sides, and what Israel is doing is not right, and we have to criticize them, and so on and so on. But still, we have some standing politicians and standing journalists, and them we encourage. Them we really also write letters that we support and are thankful for what they are writing. So we have both.
Yeah, okay. And as Christians for Israel in Germany, you're part of a global movement, active in 43 countries at the moment. What does that mean for you in Germany to be part of this international movement?
Yeah, for us, you call it movement. We also call it family from time to time, because it's exactly this. It's a huge family, and it shows that, of course, in the different countries, on the different continents, we have different focus. So what we do in Germany is maybe not the same what Christians are doing on the Fiji Islands. But it's amazing to see that we are part of a bigger picture, and we can do what we can do in Germany. But it's very encouraging that so many other countries find their way to support Israel, to bless the Jewish people. And we are thankful that we are connected in such a close way. And also the both of us, like we make trips together to different branches to see how we can encourage them, how we can see their reality. And it's a wonderful thing to see. And I think also for Israel, it's very encouraging to see that in many, many different countries, people are working to help the Jewish people in the diaspora, but also to work towards pro-Israel opinion in all the different countries. Yeah.
When people watch this interview, Luca, they might think by themselves, what can I do for Israel? I want to do something for Israel. What can I do for Israel? What's your advice?
Yes, there are many advices, but I think the most important advice is still to pray for Israel. And I don't say it because I always say it. It's really also what Israel asks of us and what Israel needs. In the last weeks when I was in Israel, they told me, we need your support, and most of it we need your support in prayer. And we know that you have a living connection, you have a living faith, you believe in God, and we really know it makes a difference. And the Israelis, they are very open to faith and to belief right now. And they asked us, please pray for our protection, please pray for our well-being, please pray that our government and our army will be wise to take the right decisions at the right time. We need your prayers. And other things are following, like we can also support them with finances. We can send money there because money is needed all over the country, many needs in the country. We can also show in public symbols like this and wear them and show that we stand by Israel's side. We also want that the hostages come back now, and we can speak out publicly. And we also experience that this costs us more than before the 7th of October, because also the anti-Semitism is on the rise. But to show our public support is really something that comforts the people of Israel. And in the last days, we had guests from Israel, and they were very touched by hundreds of people they met in Germany and now in the Netherlands that stand by their side and that show the Star of David or the pins or the necklaces where they show their support and really show that they are standing by their side. So show your support, inform yourself in the media. We also, and International is also handing out, and pray for Israel. Go into your church and gather together with some other Christians and pray together with them. Find out who in your media and who in your political sphere is pro-Israel and support them. Support them. Write letters to the politicians that you trust in and support them. And this is also very important because the politicians, they often are criticized from the morning to the evening. And they only hear what they are doing wrong or what they are not doing right. So I think it's also our job to be encouraging for the people who speak the truth. And the politicians, if you write a letter to them, they know it's not only one person thinking like this. If one person is writing a letter, it stands for 50 or 100 persons. Not all of them are writing letters, but if one person is taking the time to write a letter, I know that behind this letter are more persons thinking like this. And this also encourages journalists, politicians to stand in their position of truth. And I think this is also very important.
So a call to prayer and a call to action.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Luca, I would ask you to end our conversation with a Bible text. Mm-hmm. There is a Bible text that you want to read with us and tell us why you chose this Bible text, what touches you in this passage.
Yes. I gladly will share something out of the New Covenant, out of the so-called New Testament, and it's written in Acts 3, the verses 19 to 21, because it helps us to get an orientation in all these challenging times, to put the focus on the right thing. And our focus is that we want to understand the times we are living in, but also our focus is that we are waiting for the Messiah to come. And this also we have together with the Jewish people. We don't agree if he already has been here before or not, but we are both waiting for the Messiah to come. So this scripture is speaking about the time when Messiah will come back. And so I want to read it because it's connected to different periods, and it describes what has to happen before he will come back to earth. So let me read Acts 3, 19 to 21. Petrus is saying, "Therefore repent and return, so that your sins may be wiped away, in order that times of refreshing may come from the presence of the Lord, and that he may send Jesus, the Christ appointed for you, whom heaven must receive until the period of restoration. Until the period of restoration of all things about which God spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets from ancient time." So this scripture shows very clearly and concrete that Jesus, the Son of God, is in heaven until one period of time, and it describes this period as a period of restoration, and it describes this restoration of all things about which God spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets from ancient time. And we know the ancient prophets. We know the prophets from ancient time, like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, all the Old Testament prophets. So we see that it's relevant for our time today to understand what is happening. It's very important to be very close into the Word of God, into the prophets of the Tanakh, of the Old Testament. And if we dive into all the scriptures of the prophets, then we see a lot of things that have to do with restoration. Is speaking about the restoration of Israel. Is speaking about Jewish people finally coming home to the land that God promised them to live in. So we are experiencing this. We are seeing this with our own eyes. That today Aliyah is happening. The homecoming of Jewish people is happening. This is why we also support this, because we think from the Bible it's God's will in our days to support Jewish people to come back. So the times of restoration, the period of restoration that will take place before the Messiah will come, means that we have to understand what happens in these times, and it's what the prophets speak about in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament. So we see that Israel is relevant for our faith. Israel is relevant to understand the times we are living in, and Israel, in a way, is not making the thing more complicated, it's making the thing more easy, because then you understand the bigger picture, you understand God's plan for mankind, and you understand that he made the decision to bless all nations and all people through the Jewish people by his heavenly wisdom.
Lucas Hezel from Germany, thank you so much for coming to our studio. Thank you for everything you shared with us. And you all, thank you for watching this interview. May the Lord bless you all.